Okay. See if there's anybody in here. 47. With that fan. Hello, how you guys doing? Content. Hi, I'll be with you in just a minute. Trying to bring up the dashboard. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Hey, Best Yet. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Miss Quinny's Playroom. Good evening. Hello, C. Thomas. Gardner 99. Hey, hey, hey. And Janae is here. Let's see who else is here. Come on. Andrea Lucas, Siobhan Jones, Karen Witherspoon, Neela's Garden, hello. Veggie Farm Garden, Barb Brownlee, hi Barb, hi Gina, and Andrea Lucas. Zena's World, Now C is here. Hoyt Robinson, Aunt Tia, Mary Campbell, At Home with Cherie, Deborah Smith, Growing with Hudson, and Debbie Epps. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to move this fan off of me just a little. In case you all don't know, it is 100 degrees in North Texas. This is the time of year where everything tries to burn up, guys. And you just have to prepare for it. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. How I prepared my garden for no maintenance when I went on vacation. And you all saw the results. I think it was pretty successful. Yeah, 100 degrees, Tia. Mary Campbell said the same thing is at where she lives. Amani Anita Newsom is here. Grandmama Grows or G Mama Grows. Brenda Allen, hi. Sifting some soil. And I think I spoke to everybody else. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And I put all of this in several videos prior to me going on vacation. So I'm just going to go over the high points again. And then I'm just going to let you guys ask some questions. And I'll do my best to answer them. You guys know that I don't know everything. And if I don't know the answer, I can direct you to where you can find the answer. And, yeah. Just gonna, hey, Peanut, just gonna talk. I know you can't hardly breathe, Peanut. I know you've been going through it too. And you've been going through the high temperatures with the rain, but it's been pretty dry here. In Mesquite, Texas, where I live, guys, we have a real rainy period, April, May, and sometimes June. And this year it was June. And then in July, August, toward the end of September, we have a drought period where we don't get that much rain. In fact, in previous years, around this time of year, we get restricted on our watering, and we could only water during so many hours of the day, and that's usually real early in the morning before the businesses open up, and then after 6 p.m. And you can water your lawns and your foundation and your trees on those specific days according to your address. So that's why I store up a lot of rainwater for those particular times. Now I want to show you what I'm drinking today. You guys know I'm always drinking a no-calorie, no artificial sweetener, no sugar. This one comes from Whole Foods, and it's a ginger sparkling water. So it's nothing but water and natural flavors, and of course, what is it? CO2. I like the bubbly. So you don't have anything that's artificial, because I can't handle that with kidney disease. But I'm always drinking something. I have to, because I have to drink a gallon of water a day. And as a matter of fact, I went to the doctor today, and I just told her, look, I get on some of these medicines, so I weaned myself off of 3 of them. So she said after my blood work, if everything is good, as it appears to be, because I haven't been sick other than allergies, that she will discontinue those 3 medicines that I talked about. I took myself off. And you know your body, guys, better than the doctors. They know more about us than general health and people without symptoms. But you know your body and how your body feels. And I'm going to tell you guys, when I went on vacation, after about the 2nd day, I didn't have no pains or pulled muscles. So that just lets me know that all the work that I do to maintain my food forest, it's good exercise, but it can take a toll on your muscles. And I always say, grow your own, eat your own. It's not hard. You can do it. A couple people emailed me telling me, shoot, that's hard work. Yeah. But when I say hard in the context that I'm saying it in my little song or my little saying, I mean, it's not so hard that it should intimidate you and that you should give it a try. And the longer you do it, you find smarter ways of doing things. So that's what I'm doing, guys. I am elevating everything off of the ground so I won't be doing a lot of that bending and stooping. And when I do it, I let Brian and Bria, you all know my grand angels, they come over and they pick up the weeds or whatever plant I'm pulling up, and they put it in a bag. And the reason why I have them put it in the bag, because they like to have a contest to see who's doing the most work. Okay? So I take the bags and I put them in the compost. And anything that is infested, like for example with spider mites or aphids, anything that I had to prune off, I destroy that myself. I don't let them pick that up. Okay? So let me speak to a couple more people, and then I'm going to go on talking about how to prepare your gardens for vacation, if you didn't watch my videos, or how you can get through a very hot drought summer. Love Notes is here. Yes, she said you can get off some of those medicines. Yeah, I'm not going to wait for them to take me off all of them like I normally do. I just tried it when I was on vacation. Started weaning myself before I went. And by the time I came back, I was off of them. Gigi Naturals in the house. Erica Taylor. Miss Kia. Bobby Wilson, Peanut Peppers I spoke to, Haiti Lamar, the movie star. Thank you for being here. And I think I spoke to everybody else. Emilio, hey nephew. Yeah, you missed a lot of lives. I miss you, brother, but I see you on Instagram. Okay, and I even made a little silly TikTok video the other day. It's not my thing. I probably won't be doing a lot of them, but you can check me out. Tommy's Homestead is in the house. The Sweet Spot is here. Container Crops. Hey, Pam. And I think I spoke with everybody else, and it looks like you guys are all speaking to each other, which is wonderful. Oh, Kathy from Living Miracle Homestead. I just watched your beautiful video, Kathy, about the surprise soursop. That's all I call them. I don't call everything by the technical name. But it was nice to see that blooming. But I made up my mind. I'm going to sell my 2 trees. I even have an offer for people keep asking me, do I want to sell them? Because I guess I complain a little bit about how heavy they are and I have to drag them in the house and get my son to help me. If they don't fruit by next year, I'm going to go ahead on and let them go because it's just too much work for me. Okay, let's see if I missed anybody. Okay, I appreciate all of you all being here. And if my moderators haven't said it already, please go ahead and hit that like button and we'll get started. Yeah, Kathy, that was really, really nice. You have a lot of beautiful trees that I can tell you've been growing for quite a while. And I've always wanted to grow, but I don't live in enough tropical area, and I'm just gonna pull back from straining myself so much. And that is, those fruits are kumquats, loquats, star fruit, and the soursops. I thought I would try the soursop since I was able to get the seeds, because it's one that you can grow like mango and papaya that you don't have to have grafted. But we had 3 degrees as a low temperature last February, so I'm only going to stick with what I know survived the freeze in case this is a trend and it's going to happen again. Hi, New Art Gardener. Thank you for being here. So the first tip that I want to give you see me looking over here? I have a monitor here and I have a monitor right here. That's what I'm doing. And I wrote some notes because I like to come prepared for you guys. The first thing I want to tell you to do is to water like Kathy did from Living Miracles Homestead, either at night or early in the morning. Now, if you water at night, you got to be mindful if your neighbors, if you're sharing a yard that connects, if your neighbor waters, then I would recommend that you water. But if your neighbor doesn't water at night, that's what I'm speaking of. If your neighbor waters their lawn at night, then you should do it at night, or their plants, trees, or whatever. But if they don't, I don't recommend you doing it, because you reap what you sow. If they water and then you don't, all the bugs will come into your yard and vice versa. So we basically, me and the neighbor on this side that we have a lawn that connects, we water in the morning. Okay? But you have to do what's best for you and your work schedule. So now that it's 100 degrees here, I'm not going outside past 9:30, 10 o'clock because I can't breathe. I have a lot of allergies and the wind is blowing hot air and I can't take it. Hey, Jean Dudley, nice to see you. So I water at daybreak, okay? And if for some reason you have to go out and water a little bit later in the day, let's say noon, run your water hose, if you're watering from your hose, until it runs a little cool or warm to the touch and not hot. Because if you go out there in the heat of the day and start watering before you let some of that water out of your hose, if it's 100 degrees outside, it's going to be about 105 degrees inside of that water hose. And you can scald and burn your plants. And I've done it before. So I'm telling you something that I know and not what someone told me. Now, there's a myth, and I'm going to say it's a myth because I find it to be, that you shouldn't water your plants when it's real hot outside because that attracts the sun to the leaves. It's supposed to do something and scald them. That is not true. If the water is not hot, it is not going to burn your leaves. That's a myth. If you don't believe me, Google it. There's no scientific proof. The only proof that I've had as far as watering your plants has been beneficial. For example, it could be 100 degrees in Texas and it could be sun shining, everything, and then all of a sudden you have a quick little thunderstorm and it's hot outside. and it'll cool off a little bit. That's how you know it's coming, as far as, because it could be sunny and still raining. Okay, and it's usually just a quick little downpour, unless it's going to be a real bad storm and the rain does something good to the garden, nothing bad, even in hot temperatures. Okay, I think I read somewhere, because guys, I do a lot of research, and I think it has something to do with more nitrogen in the air and the water itself. Okay. Xena World said, veggies, too many mosquitoes. GG Naturals, talking about the bad mosquitoes. Renee's Garden is here. Thank you for being here. And New Art Garden, I think I might have spoke to you. I see you speaking to somebody else. And Tiny Texas Garden, if I'm not mistaken, you're in Louisville or Plano, so you know about those 100-degree temperatures. Stinky Puddle Ranch is in the house. Thank you so much. And I think I got everybody else. Now, so run your hose. Make sure it's not real hot. And then water. Water either at night or water in the morning. And some of you that have container gardens like Pam, you may have to water twice if you're in 100-degree temperatures. Okay? And some of you that are using grow bags, because all across the country, I was just talking to my brother in Indiana, and he was saying that it's unusually warm there too. But sometimes with containers, the smaller they are, the more you're going to have to water. Another thing I want you to consider is Ollas. I shared them with you in a couple of my videos. I bought mine about 5 years ago, and they are unglazed pots. And you can make some yourself. You can Google it, and it'll show you how to do it. You just use a hot glue gun and put a clay pot on the top and the bottom. And of course, you have to have a hole in the bottom, which you turn upside down. And you have to seal up the hole at the bottom. And what it does is it slowly weeps out moisture. And you dig a big hole and you put these way in the ground. If I'm not mistaken, I think it came from the Indian culture. And that's how they watered their plants, very slowly at the roots. It works. So I'm only growing 2 tomato plants right now, and the Ollas that I have are next to the tomato plants. So you're going to have to think about, if you're going to do this, where would be the best place to use them. And so, because I've been gardening a long time, I know that my tomatoes plants require more water, for example, as opposed to pepper plants that don't need as much water. Okay? And then if you use mycorrhizal fungi, that little powder, it connects all of your plant root systems together, and they talk to each other. They're living things just like we are. And they talk to each other, and they will pull back, the roots will pull back from, I know it sounds crazy, but it's true, will pull back from the water and allow the water to be distributed to the roots that need it the most. It's a system. They all work together. And that's a mycorrhizal fungi. Now, that is not a fertilizer. So I got an email saying, how can you say you would never use any fertilizer or buy any fertilizer when you use rock dust, when you use mycorrhizal fungi? There's a difference in nutrients and fertilizer, whether it's chemical or natural, because I have so much Comfrey, and Comfrey contains all of the nutrients, all of the fertilizer that you need. If you do it as your plants need it, you won't have to buy all this other stuff. So now I'm spending less and less money because I have my trees established. They don't need anything but twice a year to give them the liquid Comfrey fertilizer. And a couple of times during the year, I will chop and drop Comfrey, and every time it rains, as it decomposes, as we water our gardens, those nutrients will go into the soil. Then you got to know which trees have a long taproot. For example, pawpaw trees do, as well as persimmon trees. They, like comfrey, share the ability to grow a taproot that go way down in the earth and pull up nutrients and fertilizer nutrients that other trees can't reach. And that's why you can't move pawpaw trees around a lot or your persimmon trees. I have 2 persimmons and 3 pawpaws. Now, because the pawpaw trees were very young, I decided with my crazy self that I was going to put one in the ground close to the comfrey that grows up to about 5 feet, and it was shaded. Because the first 3 years that you have a pawpaw sapling, you need to keep it in a container or in the ground where you're going to get a lot of shade. 2 of the trees grew up real strong that I felt that they were strong enough to go to the back fence, and the back fence would shade them. And 1 was really small, so I put it, like I said, where the comfrey is. And then it started growing like crazy, and I was going to move it. Then I started researching again, and I realized that taproot may get broken off or snapped off during the digging process, and I might kill my tree. So I'm going to leave it right where it is. Okay? Always research and find out how much water your individual trees need per week. It is better to slowly water them once or twice a week as opposed to giving it a little water every day because it's 100 degrees. Because what you do is you encourage root growth at the top of the soil and not encourage the roots to dig down and go in deeper for the water. Because everything that you water will seep into the soil. Okay? So be careful, and you want to do your research. Just don't buy a tree, stick it in the ground. Do your research, and you need to know how much water it needs. Does it need shade? That type of thing. Okay, I saw a question in all caps. Growing with Huskies talk about mealybugs. You can save your questions toward the end, guys. And because I go back and I look at these things and I realize I've missed some questions, but sometimes it goes bad. So I'm going to tell you like I used to tell my students when I was teaching cosmetology school. Take out a note, a book or a piece of paper and a pen and write your question down. And then toward the end, start typing it in. Because I guarantee you, when I go back and try to roll it, I'm not going to get everybody's questions. So I would recommend that you write your question down to yourself and then type it in at the end. We'll talk about mealybugs in a minute, though, growing with Hudson. Minnesota is very hot and humid. Air quality and visibility is poor, and low cause forest fires in Canada, making it hard to do anything outside. Yeah, I can't breathe when it's like that, you know? So, yeah, I understand what you mean. Antia wants to know if anybody in 5B or 6A growing a fruit tree in a container, do you have to bring them in during the winter? Antia, hold that question, too. We'll talk about that. Leticia City Prepper is in the house. And Love Notes is bringing to our attention that pecan trees and moringa trees have a very long taproot. You are absolutely right, Love Notes. I started calling you Love Jones. I don't know why. But you are absolutely right. And that's why a lot of people, when they try to grow the moringa tree, well, I'm just going to say it. I wasn't successful because I kept moving them around when I was potting up. And that's something you need to take into consideration. And then I started doing some research, and I noticed that people had those tree roots pots. They're tall, slim, and real skinny for that tap root. So you're right. Thank you, Love Notes. Hey, Lion Crest. I'm just going to go back and make sure I didn't get any questions. Andrea Lucas says she waters twice a day. She holds down the outside of my grow bags. C. Thomas, wonderful, says she made some Ollas. You can Google this stuff, guys. It's really easy. Okay, yes, the pots dry out quickly. It's been raining every day, and so that has helped our hives have been in the upper 80s. This is Pam from Container Crops. Okay. Thank you, Growing with Hudson. She's saying 75 people in the chat, only 42 thumbs up. What's the deal? Thank you, Love Notes. Okay. Now, I got a few more things I want to say, and then I'm going to go to the first question will be about the mealybugs. And I'll let you know the experience that I've had with it. Shade, shade, shade. I have 90% shade cloth, and I do 50% shade cloth. And this is what I had all over my garden, my 20 times 10 times 7 greenhouse. I had the shade cover on that completely down while I was gone. When I came back, I rose it up in where the sun would hit the bed that I got the okra growing in them. A lot of the beds, I put 90% shade cloth, and some of them I did 50% shade cloth. And when I came back, I completely removed the 50% shade cloth on one of my platforms that I have 3 grow boxes on top of sawhorses. I removed it as I was, Brian and I were harvesting the elderberries, because I realized that I created a microclimate over there, and it was actually cool because the sun wasn't directly on it, because there was a jujube tree, just said it, elderberries, and then on this side I had 90% shade cloth on 2 garden beds. So I completely removed it because I have bean seedlings growing there that I planted just before I left, and they sprouted and germinated and all that good stuff. And they were struggling under the shade cloth because it's a little bit cooler. So if it's 100 degrees outside, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be 100 degrees all over your yard, because the more structures, the more trees, and when I say structures, I mean the greenhouse, the platforms, the sheds. I have 2 of them in the yard, and the grapevines and all that stuff. Those things will create microclimates where can be a little warmer or a little cooler. And that microclimate that I created right there where the beans are growing, it didn't need any shade. It was like leaning. You can tell because the plants were like this straw. They were leaning like this, trying to lean toward the light. Now they're standing straight up like this when I took the shade cloth off. I think it's cool. I got this for my daughter. It's a stainless steel straw. She and her kids, Brian and Bree, her husband, they use it every time I go over to dinner. And I said, you all use this every day? And she said, yeah, you want one? So she gave me one. And when your beverage stays cooler in the metal. Okay. Okie dokie. And you're right, Best Yet. I love and appreciate you all. Okay, so I talked about the Ollas, talked about the shade cloths, talked about watering. Be careful, careful, careful starting seeds outside. You got to know what you're doing. You either got to have somebody home, if you're not working from home, to kind of monitor that for you, or you need to start them in the house. Because you can start them outside and look real good, and then you can go to work and come back and they'll be burnt up. So you got to be very, very careful. I made up my mind. I'm going to go ahead and put mine outside to let them germinate. But once they break through the soil, I'm going to go in and set up another grow shelving unit with grow lights and let them grow in the inside. I'm tired of fighting all that, going in and out, in and out. Okay? And besides, that leads me to where I'm going, and I'm going to honor or talk about somebody right now. It is At Home with Cheryl. She offered a lot of you guys the opportunity, and I mentioned it in my live. She said she just loves to experiment and buy a lot of seeds, and she offers seeds to a lot of people. And I don't know how many she sent out, but I think I've only seen 1, maybe 2. The guy from Canada, Canadian outdoor something. Cool dude. You all know who I'm talking about. He did a video featuring hers, and I was gonna do the same thing when I do mine, but I want to talk about it now because I did promise you guys before I went on vacation I was gonna tell you all when I'm gonna start my seeds. So I will be starting seeds this weekend. And at home with Cherie sent me some seeds that I have never tried before, and I have never grown Chinese broccoli. Can you see that? She sent me those seeds, and I'm going to be growing that this fall. She sent me some Viola de Vernon. It's a cabbage. It looks like it's Italian cabbage, and I'm going to try it. My favorite cabbage to grow is Savoy, and so I got those seeds. I'm going to start those too. And here is another cabbage. This is a Chinese cabbage. She sent me some seeds. Can you see that? So I'm going to be growing that because every year, let me just tell you all this. I rotate what I grow. Since it's just me, I only grow turmeric and ginger every other year. So I need more turmeric and I need more ginger. In fact, I found some turmeric from 2017 at the bottom of my freezer that I'm taking out, and I'm going to take it through the process of peeling it, boiling it, slicing it, dehydrating it, but I'm not going to consume it. I'm going to use it as an antifungal to prevent gnats and fungus on my seedlings, okay, because that's a little too old in the freezer. Okay, and so here's another early Jersey Wakefield cabbage. I'm going to be growing that one. In fact, I'm going to start 2 or 3 of everything that she sent me because I told her that's what I'm getting to. I got to make chow chow. I didn't make chow chow last winter, so I got to make chow chow this winter. And chow chow is a southern relish that has cabbage, green tomatoes. You can put basically what you want to put in it, onions, and it has you can put sweetener in it, and it just tastes real good when you're eating your greens or your black-eyed peas or your beans. And this is Gordon Blue cabbage. So she just heard me talking about I was going to try some more cabbages, and she sent me some. And here is another one. Here's a purple one, and this looks really, really good, real pretty in your chow chow, anything like that. And she heard me say that I tried tatsoi for the first time because I saw Dan's Permaculture Food Forest. And when I saw her video that she had the rainbow tatsoi, she sent me those because I requested those. And then she sent me some zinnias. And you guys know I like zinnias. But I'm on punishment. I'm punishing the zinnias. I'm not going to grow as much because I don't know if it was the rain or cold weather, whatever, but they after the food this year and they didn't get as beautiful as they normally do. And everybody knows I grow a lot of mustard, spinach, and she sent me these as well. So thank you, At Home with Cherie. It's a beautiful feeling. Now, all of these are not brand whole packages. She sent some of the seeds and sent me I look like she made a copy of the packages, okay? And some of them might be the packages, but it's enough for me, and I will share some of these seeds with other people. Now, these are the seeds, and she sent a really nice card, too. And she was offering that to almost anybody. And I'm telling you guys, sometimes, we want to run to the big channels when you need to really be watching these smaller channels. Did I say that? I sure did. I said it out loud. You need to be watching these smaller channels because they really be trying to help. I mean, because Cherie, I think she grew 50 or 60 tomatoes, different varieties. The same thing with the peppers. She grew some stuff that I never heard of. So I'm not trying to be funny, but y'all need to go check that channel out, and you might see something on there that will inspire you to try it. And she's spending all the money collecting all these different seeds and trying it out and sharing it with us, with the gardening community. And I just don't know why her channel is not as large as it is. And I know she just started because this channel not that long ago because she has a sewing channel too. But y'all need to go and check it out because I learned a whole lot. Don't ever think you know everything, baby, because you don't. But anyway, I have my standard things that I'm going to grow. The Georgia collards. I'm going to be starting all of these. And my friend Monica that I do her hair every Saturday since 1993, I'm going to grow some for her as well. And here's the first generation of Clemson okra, but I got some seed pods that I probably will grow. Here's some mustard spinach. It's one of my favorite greens. It has the taste of mustard and spinach together like a pepper taste, but it has the longevity and the big leaves like a mustard. This must be from Cheryl because I know I didn't buy this red low rosa lettuce. Moderators, please put the link to Cheryl's channel up. She had a video, I started watching it at home, and then I brought my earplugs when I went to my doctor's office today, and I finished watching it at the doctor's office. It's about 56 minutes, but it's pure, a wealth of information. Let me put it out like that. You need to check it out. It's a lot. She does high density planting because she's in zone 4, Minnesota, and she's showing you that she has a narrow window for when she can grow, so she grows as much as she can during that narrow window. Okay? And let's see. That's some more mustard spinach. I love the giant mustards, so I got that. And of course, I like the Japanese mustard. They look the same when you cook them, and they taste almost the same, but they look pretty in your garden when you have that red. They call them red mustards, but it's purple. And I love the 1,000-head kale. Love, love, love from Breaker Creek. And here's some more spinach. So basically, that's all I'm going to be growing with the exception of beets, a few Parisian carrots, golden beets, Detroit red, and I have another beet I'm going to grow. Seeds that I have collected, okay? All right. Okay, for those of you that are wondering what I'm growing now in 100-degree weather, it is green beans. I just started them. Eggplant, a couple of tomato plants, sweet potatoes, and pepper plants. That's all I'm growing right now. Okay? All right. Okay, I'm ready for the first question. Let's see what we got. The Naked Gardener said he still have 1,000-head kale growing from last fall under a shaded area. Yes, it will. Swiss chard is out there growing too. I'm sorry, guys. I have Swiss chard. I have learned that kale and Swiss chard will continue to grow all summer long through the fall, even through the winter. Last year, I had rainbow Swiss chard that was over a year old. Oh, thank you, Kiki Soto. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, I love that 1,000-head. It's really nice. I've got some pictures of my son coming over to harvesting the leaves, which are like gigantic. If you check some of those older videos. Hey, Shana, I didn't see you in here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, did somebody put up Cheryl's website yet? I'm sorry, YouTube channel. Okay. Now I'll take the first question, mealybugs. The only experience that I have, and I forgot who asked that question on mealybugs, I've been on citrus trees. And what I did was I took duct tape and, taped it around my fingers, the tape side, sticky side out, and just picked them off. Like that. And then I sprayed with neem oil. What is the problem that you're having with mealybugs? I'm waiting for the lady with the question about the mealybugs. Okay, hands in the dirt. True about Minnesota. Yeah, you got a short period that you can grow. Okay, Best Yet did it. She's got Cheryl's YouTube channel up. Growing with Hudson said mealybugs are everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna go Google this real fast, because only thing I know to do is to spray neem oil after I picked off as much that I can find. And they're like plant scale bugs, like aphids. They suck the fluids out of the green leaves and the parts of the plant. And they excrete a large amount of honeydew liquid, just like the aphids do. So wherever you see mealybugs, it's going to be followed by ants. Same thing with aphids. Most people think that ants are eating up the food, and it's not. They like liquid. So they farm the aphids and the mealybugs to get that liquid that they excrete. Okay, so only thing I'm going to tell you about that is what I just said. Try to use the tape or whatever to get them off, or to blast them off, and know that they won't drown like aphids. Because I'm an organic gardener, and the life cycle of a mealybug is, I remember that is only 30 days. So pick them off. I do the same thing I used to for stink bugs and leaf hoppers. And it's gotten to the point, I don't know why I don't have it. I don't have them in my yard anymore. Last year I had a whole lot of white flies, and I just kept spraying and spraying and spraying in between the rain and everything, April through June, and I just got rid of them. I don't see any more now. But they did not die when we had 3-degree temperature. Okay. Okay, Mary Campbell want to know what elderberry plants are good for. I'm just going to give you one broad answer, because I'm working on that video now, and if I go through and do my whole video, you won't watch it. It's very good for your immune system. You heard a lot of people talking about elderberry in the beginning of the pandemic to build up your immune system. Okay, so here is some here. I'm going to show you. This is, I extracted enough juice to steam to get 2 of these containers here. Remember when I did the video the other day, I told you there were a few elderberries on the bushes that I was waiting to get a little bit riper, and I did, and I steamed them today. And what I did was I added sugar to this one, because it's going to, and it'll come out like medicine. Gotta take that cap off. But this is a cough syrup for Bria. Bria's taking swimming lessons, and when they finish Friday, but every time they get in the car from the swimming pool, or just a towel wrapped around them, in an air-conditioned car, and she got like a little cough. But it's not bad. It's just like a little dry cough. And so the swimming lessons are finished from day to day, and they'll go now just on Saturday. And so I made this so I can bring this to her house tomorrow, and she'll take 5 tablespoons a day. And you should not eat raw elderberries, because they contain cyanide. They have a lot of liquid in them. Now you can taste 1 or 2 if you just want to see what they taste like. That won't kill you. But if you keep eating these berries that have the cyanide in it, you could build up a lot of toxins from that cyanide in your body, which can eventually kill you. But once you juice them or boil them, and I use a steam extractor, I remove the cyanide out of it, okay? And it won't be deadly. And I mentioned in my video that some animals like bears, deers, goats, they can eat all parts of the elderberry tree as well as the bush berries itself, and it won't harm them. But it will be harmful to dogs and some cats and humans. Birds can eat them and still survive, okay? But as far as all of the things that elderberry is good for, I'm not going to go into that, because that's part of the research that I'm doing for my video. And it'll be coming out probably about Thursday at the latest. But I will tell you this. This is the first time that I grew elderberries and harvested them. This is not the first time that I made the syrup, because I made the syrup. I started making it in 1992. I would buy the dehydrated berries from the Whole Foods. And once I was battling cancer, I started a lot of stuff and research and trying to figure out how can I get my immune system so strong that nothing will attack my body like that again. So I love to make elderberry syrup to boost my immune system. Definitely research it if you're new to it. That's right. That's right. Because I'm making 4 different types of syrup, and I'm gonna tell you why I did what I did in each syrup and how long will it be shelf stable. So again, I've just learned, I run my mouth so much on Monday night, they don't have to watch the video. Okay, I hope you understand that. Okay, so that was the girly. Birds can eat toxic seeds and berries and they swallow them whole so it doesn't bother them. I don't know about that. I mean, I'm not saying what you're saying, Love Notes, is not true. But they still have to go through a digestive process. And birds actually digest stuff and regurgitate it and feed it to their little young birds in the nest. Okay? All right. But some people, some animals just don't have the same effect that we have from certain things. But I know, for example, there are a lot of poisonous berries that we can't eat. Those little holly berries on your bushes. I have them all around my foundation in my landscaping, and birds just peck on them and peck on them, and they hit the gutter, and it's very distracting. And we can't eat them, but the birds can eat on them. At Home with Cherie channel is close to my zone, and she's wonderful. Yes, she is. And for those of you that don't know, she's a very down-to-earth, educated chemist. So she does a lot of research, and she's strictly organic. She's more of an organic gardener than I am. And her channel is At Home with Cherie, and mine is Lady Cheryl's Organic Food Forest. Because I don't buy everything that is organic. It becomes organic as I grow it. I don't buy organic soil. I can't afford it. Well, let me put it this way. I don't want to spend that money on that. I want to spend money on other things. And I don't buy, but when I was buying fertilizer, I would only buy, after I switched, I would only buy what is organic. Sprays, dormant sprays for your trees and bushes. I only buy organic. This mosquito bits that I shared with you in my last video is an organic biological way of getting rid of your stagnant water. Somebody was mentioning it in here earlier about the mosquitoes are driving them crazy. If you have any stagnant or rainy or stale water, I'm trying to get the bits in here. There you go. Mosquito bits. They do have this at Home Depot, but I ordered mine from Amazon. And then you can also get the little donuts that you just drop in your water. I had something else over here that was organic. It'll come to me later. But guys, if you get rid of your source of stagnant water or standing water, you won't have that many mosquitoes. Because if you look at my last video, when I opened up that top to the 35-gallon Rubbermaid garbage can that I have fermenting the Comfrey to make the tea, when I open that top up, those mosquitoes start flying all around. That's why I wasn't having any mosquitoes, because I have the spray that I make with the mouthwash, peppermint oil, and you can use rosemary oil. You can Google it and find out which oils are good. And I put it in this spray, 50% mouthwash. I use the generic kind. And the peppermint oil is what basically I like to use a lot of. And I spray Bria and Brian all the way down. You can see Brian walking around that last video with just coming from swimming. He don't have just his trunks on. He have no biting or smacking around because I keep that on them, okay? But when they weren't here and I opened up the top to that tea, that's where all the mosquitoes were, around that stagnant water. Even though I had two 2-gallon watering cans full of water on top of it to keep that top down, just the slightest crack in it, they'll get in there. And so now I have the top off and there are no mosquitoes. This has done the trick. It'll kill the mosquitoes as well as the larvae or however you want to call it. Okay. And so she put the mosquito bits in a rain barrel. The girlie does. What a difference. I did not realize that mosquito bits were organic. Yes, ma'am. Okay. And Bull is in here because I hear somebody speaking to him. Thank you, Bull, for coming in tonight. Yes. Put those mosquito bits in your rain barrels and you can sit out there at night. Okay, Yankee Sister question. I have 2 elderberry bushes. They are in pots. Should I plant them in the fall zone 6A? This is their first year. Will I have berries next year? Okay, it took me 3 years and I got berries. I got berries the first year, but they fell off. The second year I got a few berries and the birds got them before I could get them. This is the 3rd year. Actually, it's 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years in October that I bought those twigs, those saplings. And I bought them off of a Facebook group called North Texas Gardeners. And the guy was selling them on there. And I also bought that jujube tree. And I looked at him like, yeah, right. He told me I didn't need a pollinator. I said, yeah, well, all the research I've done about jujubes, you got to have a pollinator to cross-pollinate, right? He said, no, ma'am, I'm telling you, it'll bloom and you won't need a pollinator because it's a wild one. So it has been bred, I guess you say, cultivated where it doesn't need a pollinator. He was right. And I told him, the only way I'll get it is you give me the biggest one that you got over here. He said, that was for my mother. I said, please. And he gave it to me. And Miss Beverly Cannon, the retired school teacher that I've been doing her hair every Saturday since 1992, she went to Rockwall with me to get it. And I bought a wild plum, a wild mulberry. The mulberry produced for the first time, and I have to give credit where credit is due. Dan from Dan's Permaculture Food Forest did a video about the more you prune your mulberries, the more they will fruit. I was going to say the hell, so they say yield not to temptation, for yielding is sin. So that means even if you think it, hell ain't a bad word, but I pruned the hell out that tree. And when I tell you that mulberry bloomed for the first time this year, right after I pruned it, it started growing like crazy. And they little berries, not the big mulberries like I'm used to picking in the parks where I grew up in Indiana. But they're small, but very sweet. So Bria and Brian and I would just go out every day and have breakfast. So getting back to that, I got a wild plum, a wild mulberry, 4 elderberries. I gave 2 of them away. And about something else from that guy. I can't think right now. Everything didn't make it. But he was selling them for only $5 a tree. So when I keep saying, all of these jujubes are on this tree and it's just $5, I can't help it, guys. I'm excited to see that much fruit. And I think it was the Naked Gardener was asking me what the fruit tastes like. And it tastes like, if you let them get dry, there's one of the fruits that you can let get real ripe and dry a little bit. It tastes like a date. If you eat it, before it starts drying and turning all the way, it tastes like a crab apple to me. Okay? All right. Hey, Groovy Green Thumbs. Thank you for being here. All right. So Love Note says, my elderberries are so tall and they are a few years old. My jujube is self-pollinating. Wonderful. And Love Notes, where I planted one of my elderberries, it grew into the pathway of my fence. It grew about 7 feet, 8 feet tall. I cut it down to 4 or 5 feet. And it seems like that same principle applies to elderberries that apply to the mulberry tree. The more I pruned it, the more it grew. And I mean, I have huge clusters of mulberries. And I joined a Facebook group called something elderberries, and they told me that it was not going to produce any fruit if I bought these, and they are all the same variety because they needed to cross-pollinate. Well, I'm here to tell you, look at my video. The man that sold it to me was telling the truth. It did not need a pollinator, and they all produced. But if you do get an elderberry and you have to have a pollinator, you can take the white flowers, harvest them, and make champagne or wine out of those flowers. But to get the pure juice and the beneficial juice of the elderberry, you need to get that berry itself. Okay, this is Hoyt Robinson. A garden friend uses lavender Epsom salt in her garden. Is that safe? I would say no. Every article or information that I read about using Epsom salt in your garden, it says to use the plain kind. I don't use Epsom salt. I think I have to be very careful, because when I say something that is different than what another YouTuber feels, I hear about it, and I don't want to be in controversy, because I don't think you have to put somebody down to puff yourself up. Because we as black people have been discriminated against, and the majority of the people in here are black, not everybody, because I speak to all cultures. Notice I didn't say races, because we're all one race, human race. But when somebody has to constantly put you down to make you feel inferior, they are the ones with the problem. I can only go by what I know. And I was told all this stuff about Epsom salt, and that it makes stuff sweeter, and it gives it like a little boost if a plant goes into shock. I don't see it, guys. And so I use azomite rock dust that has 92 minerals. I use worm castings, and that's a little controversial whether that's fertilizer or not, and it is a little. But now, going forward, the only thing I use is banana, used coffee grounds, and eggshells. I blend that all up into a tea. I make weed tea. I haven't done worm casting tea in a long time, but I will put worm castings in my stuff in the spring and on my beds and containers. I don't buy anything else. I use Comfrey. I'm like in my reaping season. All the hard work that I put in now has built up my soil to be so rich that I don't have to buy all that stuff. Just use what God gives you, from ashes, dust to dust. Whatever you take out, you put back in by compost. And I tap into those nutrients that Comfrey goes way down in the earth to get, that a lot of other trees can't get to, except like Love Note brought to my memory. I mentioned pawpaw and persimmon, and she mentioned pecan and moringa, and she's right. All of that stuff that can't tap into those nutrients, that's what that Comfrey does. And Comfrey is the only or one of the very few plants that has vitamin B12 in it. And do you know that Comfrey, when you make it into a salve, it'll take some of your pain away? It takes about an hour for it to act. I never made it, but I have some gardening buddies. Another group that I'm in, Lady Homesteaders, I learned this out of. I'm not in the group anymore. I had to get out of so many because it was just too much for me to handle. But they would make salve, and they swear by it that it helps with arthritis pain. And you know what arthritis pain comes from? Inflammation. So I do the turmeric with the golden milk. You all know about that, right? So I don't have to do all of this stuff. But somebody said that Comfrey died. I saw it up here on the phone, but let me go look on the laptop. Your Comfrey died. One thing I tell you about Comfrey, if you get a little cutting, it doesn't like a lot of water. Whatever you do, try it again, okay? Because the elderberries, I ordered a clipping from eBay, it died. I ordered rooted cuttings from Amazon. Could have been the same merchant, I don't know. But they died. But when I got the little 12-inch twig, that's when they lived. Knitted bone arthritis, yeah, Comfrey. Yes, yes, yes. What do the eggshells do for the soil? It'll add calcium, sweetie. So you don't have to worry about calcium depletion or blossom end rot. Now, I do buy garden lime. Garden lime is a nutrient. It's not a fertilizer. I buy garden lime once a year. I buy worm castings once a year, and that's because I just don't want to be playing around with worms. Some people, it doesn't bother them, whatever, blah, blah. I don't want to do it. I could pick them up and put them, like if I'm digging up a bed or something and I run into some worms, I could pick them up and throw them in the garden bed or whatever, but I don't want to be feeding them and all that. And I'm not trying to discourage nobody else. That's just something that I don't want to do. But, yeah, so I got the... You get your soil all rich. See, people keep buying chemical fertilizers, and they don't know that it depletes the soil. It'll help that plant out for 1 year. But to me, the food don't taste the same that has had a chemical fertilizer as opposed to a natural. Like the coffee grounds, the banana peels, and the crushed eggshells. That's very beneficial. So I'm always saving those, and I'm always putting that on my trees, my bushes, my vines, and that type of thing. But right now, I'm in my reaping season. My soil is really rich. Unless I get some major catastrophe or some type of disease, pest, or non-beneficial insects, I can kind of like float on by now. Because when you've been gardening as long as I have. Yankee Sister, yes, Comfrey is a taproot, goes deep and gets things out of the plant that that usually can't go that deep. That's right. And Hoyt's talking about the golden milk. Yes, ma'am. And you can make that golden milk with your turmeric. I use almond milk. You can use coconut milk and a little black pepper. Okay. It's gardening time. Somebody's thanking me probably for something I said. Chemical fertilizer is crack for plants. Thank you if the truck stops rolling. That's exactly all it is. It's just giving you what you need, a temporary fix. But you're not building up your soil. Okay, my plants taste so much better the second year after building up my soil. Right, Texas? It just makes a difference. Once you get off of that crack, you are going to notice a difference in the way things taste. And once you start canning your food and eating it fresh out of that canned jar that you control, and you know what's in that product, without all those preservatives and stuff, you can't hardly eat food out of the can. I know I can't. It just don't taste good. It just doesn't taste good. Somebody said, does Comfrey take over garden bed? Yes, ma'am. Don't put it in there. Put it in the container unless you got some land that you don't care if it takes over. That's what happened to mine. Now, I put mine in containers and I put them around fruit trees. We even did something last year in July in the heat of the summer. And I kid you not. It died back a little, but it came all the way back. After you get a lot of Comfrey accumulated by propagating it, you start experimenting. I'm just going to try this in July in 100-degree weather just because I can. And it worked. So most of the trees that I have in the ground have Comfrey growing around it. So I don't even have to walk that far. That's why I say it's not hard. You can do it. It ain't what you do, guys. It's how you do it. So eventually, everywhere where I have a fruit tree is going to be Comfrey in the ground. So I can just chop and drop. I take my little hand rake or my big rake or whatever, or Brian and Bria, and move the wood chips back, right? All around in a circle. Drop the Comfrey that I chopped up. Put the wood chips back, not too close around the trunk of the tree, because you don't want wood chips around there. You don't want to hold moisture around there, right? Because you don't want it to be rotting there. or allowing the trunk to get real soft where it can be invaded by insects and things. So make sure you move your wood chips back some, right? And every time you water, every time God sends that rain down, you are fertilizing your fruit trees. Okay? So, somebody said, I love the way you think. I experiment too. Yeah, that's how you know. I think that's why I'm really so fond of Cheryl, At Home with Cheryl. Because she's not just listening to what people say they're growing. She's experimenting, buying different seeds and seeing what grows well for her. Because and I said this, I think, in one of my videos, just because a merchant that has fruit trees on their website, and you put in your zip code, and they tell you that tree can be grown in your zone, it doesn't mean it's going to grow well for you. Because I got some trees that did not grow well for me that were highly recommended by two of the most prominent bare root tree sellers on the internet. So you can't go by that. After a while, you get into your stride and you see, okay, you got 3 years in, this tree producing fruit. Wow, this tree is producing a lot of fruit. That tree still got little pebbles on it. Then you're going to realize you don't need to get that tree again. You're going to get the one that is producing well. Okay? All right. I ordered 2 Comfrey roots from eBay. I now have 6 beautiful plants. Thank you, Brenda. Brenda, can you believe I got 2 cuttings from eBay, and all that Comfrey that I have now came from those original 2 cuttings. You can have it everywhere, all around your garden. I'm giving you guys some. And that leads me to this. This is how I decided. The Lord put this on my heart. Every video from today on out, there's going to be a bonus clip. And it will not say bonus footage. I will speak the words bonus clip. Then I'm going to come back Monday night and I'm going to ask, can the first person, not who came in late and the chat has already started, but the first person that I see, or the first 2 people, whatever I'm going to do that week, that answered that question from that bonus clip in my video, I'm sending you the Comfrey. No postage that you need to send me. I'm going to do it all on my own. Sounds fair? Now, there are a couple people already got some Comfrey. I'm looking over here. And it's Debbie Epps. Got a free postage, 2 clips of Comfrey coming. And Karen Witherspoon. I meant to talk about her tonight because she sent me pictures of hornworms on her pepper plants. I got emails saying they never heard of hornworms being on pepper plants. All I can tell you all is what we saw. And there was a couple people in the chat said, oh yeah, I've seen it too. But Karen Witherspoon sent me pictures of the hornworms on her pepper plants. And because of that, I'm sending her some of the Comfrey. If she's not in here tonight, she'll hear about it. So I'll just keep adding to my list. And I think this will be a very fair and a good way to do it. Because I used to do, when I was teaching beauty school, I would say, name me a number from 1 to 10, and the first person would come up with it. Well, in my screen, it may say, I'm just going to take people in here. It may say Untia was the first person. But Best Yet came in before Untia, and it may show somebody else come in, said the answer first. So I'm not going by that. And everybody who is a moderator, who actively moderates, like tonight is Broke Farmer, Best Yet, Untia, you are automatically getting your Comfrey. You are going to get yours before everybody else. So don't even worry about it. So don't even try to answer the questions. Love Notes said her Comfrey died. Love Notes, would you be one of my moderators? I'm adding you. You can email me if you want me to take you out. But I like the way you think and I love your answers. And so you start participating and you will get your Comfrey from me as well. Now this is what I'm going to do for you guys. I'm not sending you just the cuttings. I'm sending you the rooted cuttings. I'm going to dig it up, put it in little containers, root it for you, and then I'm going to send it to you. All you have to do is put it in a pot, bring it in the house. If you live like in Minnesota, a zone that's 8 or lower, bring it in the house, just put it in the window, and bam, take it out when the spring comes. If it's going to freeze, if it's established, it'll come back. We had 3-degree temperature. You see, I have a sea of comfrey out there. So it'll survive, okay? So I'm really excited about sending you all this. And the next thing I want you guys to send me, you got my email address. One of the moderators, please put it up. If you send me some pictures of your Texas Star Hibiscus, I'm going to send you some comfrey. Because I want to put a video together with everybody that's all across the country that's growing the Texas Star Hibiscus. And when you send that email, you acknowledging that you allowing me to put your picture in the video. Okay? So I got a lot of plants I'm going to be digging up, but I can handle it because I love what I do. Okay? Welcome to Lady Cheryl's Live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you, Love Notes. It's so beautiful. And those seeds and the little pods, the bees, and just be swarming all around them, pollinating them, and the seeds are sterile. Because Russian blocking 14 comfrey, you can't grow it with a seed. But the bees just come all around it anyway. And did you all notice in my last video, I showed you the difference in the Mexican petunias, the way it looked, I believe it was July 12th or 15th, to the way it looked a few days ago. Just beautiful. And that usually comes back in March through April, because that's the first thing to be out there and the comfrey that helps the bees come in and watch to pollinate the fruit trees. But this year, they struggled coming back because of that freeze in February. So yeah, anybody will have opportunity to read. Living Miracle says she just homestead, which is Kathy, says she just cut hers back. I'm telling you guys, I showed you in the video, I don't even cut it. I just grab it off. I just snap it off. And then just spread it all around. Then hit that water hose on it. And another thing it does is suppress weeds. It acts like a mulch. Who is that I saw using burdock? Excel's Family Garden, Rob. He used burdock the same way. I'm sure it adds nutrients and it suppresses weeds. But I don't know if the burdock has more nutrients than comfrey. But I do know that it's pretty good. So yeah, dig some of it up. I pulled some, I snapped some off, and I mean, it had a smidgen of a root. And I put it in a pot, and that thing grew like crazy. And that's what's over there now on this side of my food forest where my banana plants are. I have a wild plum and a wild mulberry bush with comfrey growing all around it from a little bitty piece. So you're not going to need a whole lot, okay? And then what you're going to do is who said that? Hoyt Robertson, can comfrey be planted with other herbs? I wouldn't. It's very invasive. I would put it in a big pot or in a garden bed by itself or in the ground where you can keep pulling it up. I wouldn't put comfrey in a garden bed with herbs. Because just like peppermint, it's going to take over. But that could be a very good thing. Hi, Ann from the colony. I think I just saw you on this one. Peaceful Place Garden says she needs that comfrey. I'm telling you all. I'll be watching like a hawk. I need comfrey in my garden. Cherie, I want you to keep watching, but I'm going to put you down already. Because I do believe in do unto others. MFREY. You send me those seeds, honey child, as my mother used to say. Honey child. That's when she was very fond of somebody. Honey child. How you doing, honey child? Anyway, you got your comfrey. You on the list, Cherie. I believe that turnabout is fair place. That was really nice of you to send me those seeds just so I can try something different. Okay? And I even told Cherie, I think I emailed her or commented on, I'm going to give some of those seeds away that you gave me. She don't care. As long as the information is getting out there, that's what you call somebody who is selfless. See, you selfish if you give a person a gift and you want them to use it the way you want them to use it. No, I'm going to take my blessings that she gave me and I'm going to share it with you all. Oh, I'm covering up something. I went to Kroger's to get my prescriptions. Remember I told you I was on 9 pills a day. Now I'm only on 6, thank you, Jesus. And they told me when my lab work come in, they'll let me know if they can take me off another one. Because I lost a little weight. I don't want to talk about that, though. I saw these at Kroger's. Can y'all see that real good? That's garlic. I saw these huge bulbs. Now, it didn't say organically grown. Because I have bought stuff from Whole Foods and planted it. Planted it. Yeah, that's right. But I saw these 2 for $1. So I got $3 worth, 6 of them. Garlic cloves. And around September, I'm going to plant them. And I think the best way to store them would be in the refrigerator. Can somebody tell me? Because I haven't Googled it. Should I store these garlic bulbs in the refrigerator until September? Somebody tell me. All right, Andrea. Container crops, yes, in the refrigerator. That's what I thought because it was in the slight refrigerator section. So I'm going to put it where the lettuce crisper goes. So when it get too cold, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator in September because I was talking about that and I forgot. Garlic, turmeric, and ginger I grow every other year. And onions. Because I haven't even used all the onions from last year, and I didn't plant any this year. So I probably will grow a few more onions too, just to stay even with everything, those 4 things. Okay. On that homesteader said, my Comfrey hasn't started seeds. I don't understand. How long will it take before it blooms any flowers? As it gets warm and it grows, you'll start seeing flowers. I can't tell you how long because I don't know what you mean by hasn't started seeds. Did you start it with a cutting? If you started with a cutting, about 7 months. The weight loss does make a difference, Lady Cheryl. My great niece, 21-year-old diabetes shots, lost 100 pounds. Whoa, that's really, really nice. Change what she eats. Yeah, I lost a little weight. My brother told me, he said, yeah, girl, I saw you slimming down a little bit on my vacation pictures. You know, your brother could talk to you like that. And I said, yeah, I have. I've lost a little weight. And that's just being real, real active because I've been eating healthy for years. Okay. Does Comfrey grow low and wide or tall? It grows wide and tall. Good question, container crops. Those 17-gallon buckets that you have, you can put them in those. Or you could put it in a plot of land. Or you could make you a raised garden bed, however you want to do it. But just don't put it with a lot of other plants because it's going to take over. Okay. Andrea, she's in my Facebook group. Yeah, I've been seeing pictures of your Comfrey, guys. She's really on it. She's on top of it. And by the way, if you want to join the Facebook group, you're welcome. It has the same name as my YouTube channel. I'm going to let you know right now, if you want to join it just to put up YouTube videos, you will not be able to. The only YouTube videos I put up are mine. You can ask questions, you can brag, you can make announcements, you can tell us about sales. But if you're there just to promote your YouTube channel, don't waste your time. You got to do the work yourself. If you're there to learn something because you're new at gardening or you want to know how to run your group before you start your group, you're welcome to join. I got some awesome ladies over there. They handled everything while I was on vacation. I have at least 2 Comfrey plants in the corner of my raised beds, easily chop and drop. Very good, Angela. Just don't let it take over year after year. It'll take over. No more plain, just change to low-carb eating. Okay, Zena's World, thank you. Okay, now I haven't been talking about my products. I want you all to know that I still make my products in small batches in my kitchen. You guys know, one video I showed you where I was getting small jars of essential oils. I've moved to gallons. Everything I make, I do it all in my kitchen myself. And I've got a nice repeat customer base. Okay, where's the miracle? Okay, I thought I had another jar out here. I was going to offer you all a special that is not on my website. Now, I have 3 or maybe 4 specials on there that you can order at any time. I decided to leave them on through the advice of my daughter. My sister, my daughter, and my oldest son always give me really good advice, and I take their opinion. So they say you should try to have some specials. Are you considering making a shepherd good? I used to make one, Angela. If I get a demand for it, I will. I used to have 150 products. It gets to be pretty expensive and time consuming. I don't know if I have all the energy, but if I keep losing weight, I'll probably do it because I have more energy now. But this is the special for tonight. This is the hair milk, and you know it comes with the spray bottle. And this is the oil. Now, this special is not on the internet. If you order one of these, each of these products, you will get the pain cream free. And this will go until tomorrow night at midnight. Tonight and tomorrow. Order 1 total body oil and 1 hair milk. The ring light keeps you from seeing it real good. But you can just look on my site. Hair milk, here it is. Hair milk, total body oil, and I'm going to send you the pain cream free. And anybody in this chat that have used this cream will tell you it works. Okay? Order these 2, and you'll get this one free. Up until midnight tomorrow, because I will be going to the post office Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sometimes I won't go on Friday if it's a real big order, because I don't want to in those hot trucks over the weekend. I'll wait until Monday. Who is that? That pain cream is all that. Yes, ma'am, and a bag of chips, as my late husband used to say. So if anybody wants I'll put it in the description box. Order the total body oil. The pain cream will come free if you get the hair milk too. Okay? All right. Somebody said something about the Comfrey. Thank you, Nikki95. She's loving the hair growth promoter. And a lot of you, have a different name, and you've ordered stuff from me, and unless you tell me through an email, I don't know it's you. So I can't think of who Nikki95 is, but you'll let me know. At home wish, I email my question. Okay, at home with Cheryl's going to email me her question. And you all are always welcome. As long as it's not something you can easily Google yourself. And some people get mad, and I Googled this for you. Next time, please Google it. And they get a little mad. I don't hear from them again, but they gotta understand. I'm a busy lady. Man, oh man, oh man. Let me tell you all, when I went on vacation, I felt like I was in heaven. I was just laying back in that boat, and the hair was blowing in the wind. I had my little mimosa. I'm telling you, my body wasn't hurt, my head wasn't hurt, my arm wasn't pulled from doing a lot of gardening work or lifting up 5-gallon buckets of products. And I'm telling you, it was a beautiful feeling. I can't wait to go on vacation again. We started a vacation club. The same people that were traveling together. And it was my sister. She met me. I only have one sister. She met me from Indiana at the airport in San Diego. And then it was Brian and Bree, and of course their mom and dad. And when I tell you all, we had a ball, we had a ball. Everywhere we went, it was just a beautiful experience. We had a good time. I did remember to hit that like button, did you? Oh, Angel, I love you. I love the way you said that. Hey, Marcus, Miss Quinny's husband is in the room. Yeah, that's really cute. I did remember to hit that like button, did you? Yeah, we had a good time. We even went on vacation during the early part of the pandemic last year, but it was at resorts. If you all haven't noticed by now, I'm a nature girl. So anything smoking that you want to go, and we're going to be surrounded by nature, camping, a resort where you up in the mountains. I mean, that's what I love. And that's when I first was inspired to grow a Persian silk was it ambrosia? Yeah, I think it's ambrosia tree. Mimosa tree. Mimosa. I saw that tree. I've seen them in Texas, but not that often. It was a whole lot of them surrounding me in the mountains of Tennessee. And I came back and I got those seeds off eBay, and I've grown 2 of them. They can be invasive too. But I can't wait for them to bloom. They're so beautiful. Yes, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick. I was living my best life. It was just so much fun. Such a relaxing environment. And I love sitting at the pool watching my son-in-law, the expression on his face when he saw Brian and Bria swimming in the pool. Because he was the one that took them to swimming lessons Monday through Thursday. And 4th of July, because we were off they were closed that Monday, they went that Friday. And he was just sitting back with his chest all poked out and just watching them smile and watching them swim. It was a beautiful feeling. Because my daughter was working. She's assistant principal. And she got a chance to take them twice when she got out of school. Because their school year ended quicker than Mosquito than Dallas. No, David, I don't sell anything like that. So I'm not going to sell any Comfrey, but I'm allowing you the opportunity to win it, David. Watch the videos coming back in here next Monday and be the first person to answer, and you can win. Andrea Lucas says she uses the pain cream every day. Only use a little. You can take that pain cream and mix it in with your regular lotion or your body butter, and anywhere you hurting. Or if you're getting ready to do some strenuous work, put it on before. You'll see a difference. Okay, now Container Crops, it says she loves the hair growth promoter. Some of you all have given me reviews, and I've been slow about putting them on the website, and I apologize. Because I do my own editing, I do the websites, I design my labels. I have a company that prints them. Some of my original labels, I printed them myself. I just stopped doing that when my son said, Mama, that's just too much work. So that's why I'm telling you about this sale, because I'm not going to get it on there in time. Buy the oil, buy the milk, and you get the pain cream too. And anybody that has the pain cream will tell you it's very highly concentrated. That's why I said if you just have if you just got a little pull muscle, you don't have to put it on full strength. Just put a little bit on your lotion and put a little bit on there and rub it in together and then apply it like that, okay? Because it has 1 eyedropper full of hemp oil in it. I do not put it in the whole 5-gallon bucket when I'm making the product. I individually put the eyedropper inside of your cream to make sure that you get the right amount, okay? And you know the hemp oil will really relax you. So if you got tight muscles, have your wife or your girlfriend, guys, to massage you with a little bit. You're gonna feel real good. Just don't go to work with it, because it doesn't have oil of wintergreen and a couple other ingredients that are kind of pungent. Okay. Yankee sister said her daughter wanted her to reorder the hair growth and the body butter. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Broke Farmer said 126 people in the chat. Have you hit the button? Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm going to give somebody a chance to win the cream tonight. Yes, the cream is very concentrated, love notes. Very concentrated. And like Auntie said, the smell will dissipate. Because I take it right after I get out of my shower and I put a little bit on, okay? All right. So it'll dissipate. The same thing about let me get into this before I do the contest. Because somebody asked me about the Comfrey and I said I will talk about it more tonight. You can ferment the comfrey as long as you want. But just know, if you don't put that mosquito bits in there and you don't put that repel on, where is it? I thought I had it around here somewhere. Put some of this around your container that you repel all. And that's for squirrels, possums, coons, deers, blah, 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 blah. Put that around the outside because it will attract rodents that smell well. But you can ferment it as long as you want for a very long time. The longer it ferments, the less you have to dilute it. So if you have it in there for just 2 weeks, you could put it on full strength on things like fruit trees, established plants, that type of thing, like my muscadines, my grapes, that type of thing. But on your regular garden beds, you want to dilute it 10 parts water, 1 part comfrey fertilizer if it has been fermenting for a month or so. Okay? On your seedlings, once they germinate and you move them outside or in a greenhouse, you want to do those 20 parts water, 1 part fertilizer. It's no scientific measurements. It's homemade. It's you do your own thing. But I'm telling you, it works. I usually ferment mine between 3 weeks and a month before I start using it. But if I see a tree look like it's struggling, I'll go ahead on and dip me up about a quart and pour it around the root ball. Not right there by the trunk. See, this is the trunk. Not right there, outside of it. Okay? So you kind of like mama, you got to go out there and check it out. Daddy, go out there and check. And your plants will tell you by the way they look and how they look limp or whatever, what they need. Okay, comfrey tree leaves grow everything green. It sure does, David. I don't have to use all this extra stuff that I used to buy. No more. It turns everything so green and pretty. I mean, it's just a beautiful feeling when you go over your expenses and you realize you are not spending all that money like you used to. Because some people think the more that they buy, the better their garden is going to be. Or the more expensive the equipment that they have, the better their garden is going to be. I use these sometimes when I was harvesting the elderberries. I was just using these little garden scissors. A couple stems were kind of tough, and I needed pruners, but it's not all about that. But I need all of you all to stay on me and ask me, starting October 1st, have I air layered my fig tree? I want you all to hold me accountable. Because I bought the knife and everything to cut it all out and do everything, and I just don't do it. But I want you all to hold me accountable, hold my feet to the fire. I'm making you all a promise, and I made it to myself. I'm going to try to air layer my fig tree for the first time. And I'm going to wait until it gets cooler, so I'll say the end of September, 1st of October is when I'm going to do it. I got to do it. I'm committing myself to it, okay? All right, if there aren't any questions, somebody's talking about slugs. Really? What's about slugs? Oh, how many times a week do you use the comfrey tea? Twice a season for fruit trees. I chop and drop twice a season, so let's say every month. Once a month, 1 month I may give it comfrey. The next month I'll give them banana, coffee, and eggshell slush. The next month I may give them weed tea. The next month I'll give them comfrey tea. The next month I'll do chop and drop. So I only give them tea about twice a year. I don't give them nothing during the wintertime when everything is dormant. Nothing but oil, neem oil and water to spray to keep bugs and stuff down. But every month give them something, whether it is weed tea, worm tea, a little compost you want to throw around it. You feel me? But you don't need to give your stuff something every week. That's too much. That's too much. Okay. I think I got everybody's question. Thank you, Ann. October 1st, I want you all to ask me that next Monday night, did you air layer your fruit tree? Because I plan to make a video when I do it. Another thing I want to tell you is I've been invited back by that library in New York to do another canning class. It's going to be in October. And it's going to be a 90-one, and I'm going to do the actual live canning demonstration. I will be water bath canning. That's about all I can do in 90 minutes time. Pressure canning takes a little bit longer. So for those of you that want to participate in it, hey Ty Lily, hey Meryl Spencer, hey Jessica F. I don't think I spoke to y'all, and somebody else just came in. Lisa just came in. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that live canning demonstration, and I'll probably have my daughter or son-in-law to videotape it too, so that I can put it on YouTube at the same time I'm doing it for the thing in New York. It's good when you've given a class for them or anybody. I did 2 classes, and then they contact you to do another one. That's a good feeling. So obviously they like something that I did. Okay, if you have comfrey trees, drop the leaves under if you have comfrey tree, drop leaves under other plants. Yes, sir, David Corey. That's exactly what I told them. And you probably came in a little bit later, but in the beginning of when I started talking about comfrey, I told them how I push everything back, the mulch back, and chop and drop the comfrey. My grandkids, Brian and Bria, can do it really almost with their eyes closed. Okay, don't forget the special. And now it's time for the contest. In my last video, and remember, whoever comes up first on my screen will get it. Okay, Ty Lily says she had a question. Name of your ginger drink. Okay, this is ginger seltzer water. It's by 365, Amazon Prime, or Whole Foods. It's nothing but a little ginger with seltzer. No salt, no sugar, no artificial ingredients. Oh, thank you, Amani. Okay, so here is the question. Yes, Love Notes. I thought it was an honor in New York. Yeah, especially. Okay. Oh, put your chat on the live wall, y'all. Miss Bessiette. Thank you, Miss Bessiette. Miss Lydia. Lydia, I call you Miss Lilia. In one of the live chats I watched, one night I got off, I said, why was I calling Lydia Lilia? That happens when you get 67. It's the difference between Alzheimer's, guys, and getting a senior citizen thing. But anyway, what I want you to do is to tell me first. Wait till I get it out, because you're going to start putting the wrong answer. This person's going to get 2 comfrey clippings. I'm going to root them for you. Tell me where did we taste the Big Apple the other day? I put it in my video. Start.